What we often see is that the men are telling themselves that, and I've been guilty of this too. I don't have children right now, but I tell myself that I'm doing this for us. I'm building this for us. This is our dream. You've said that you want to have a certain lifestyle, so I've got to work. I've got to put in the hours. If you want that, then I've got to go out there and do the work. And in my experience, what I found to be true, 9.9 times out of 10, it isn't really their dream. It's our dream.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man, Matthews. Tim, what's up, brother?
Yo, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. So, Tim, today I want to talk about the absentee father. Now, any dad listening to this, that instantly will make you cringe a little bit. But what I'm talking about is, the father that's always working late, right? And if you're listening to this and you're a father, you know what I'm talking about. You're constantly working late. You say you're not going to, and you've tried many times to stop, but it keeps creeping back in, right? Your wife is probably nagging at you, or maybe not nagging. She's just slowly getting more and more distance because it's killing your relationship. You're close to each other when you're home, but you're miles apart emotionally. The absentee father doesn't have control. He has to have really control of his business. Has that idea that every decision has to come through him. So he's always working late, never switches off. Gets home, you know it. You grab your phone, you're checking your emails, text messages, checking in with your team. You have no time by yourself. There's not enough hours in the day. You're exhausted. Right? The last thing you really want to do is spend time with. You want to be with your family, but you really don't have the energy to do it. And guys, again, you know who you are. And, typically the symptoms are you're lying in bed late at night, anxious, mind racing, thinking about everything you have to do the next day, but also feeling guilty that you're not present with your family. And maybe you've missed soccer games and basketball events or recitals, but yet you're just pushing it forward. If they only understood and appreciated me, just pushing it forward so I make enough money, then I can stop. Yet, really what you're doing is you're just clicking that mouse and nothing's getting done. So, Tim, that's what I want to throw on the table and talk to these guys, these fathers that are amazing men, but right now are living the absentee father life.
Wow. We see it so often, don't we? And what we often see is that, the men are telling themselves that, and I've been guilty of this too. I don't have children right now, but, with Amelia, I've been guilty of it myself. And I tell myself that I'm doing this for us. I'm building this for us. This is our dream. You've said that you want to have a certain lifestyle. At least this is what I'm telling myself. You say that you want to have a certain lifestyle, so I've got to work. I've got to put in the hours. If you want that, then I've got to go out there and do the work. And what starts to happen in my experience, both personally and with the hundreds of men that we work with, is that over time, it's very easy to get lost in that story and ingrain that story so deeply within yourself that it almost starts to breed some resentment between you and your partner. Because like you said, it's like, don't you get it? I'm doing all this for us. You then feel torn because on one hand, she's showing you these holidays that she wants to go on and these houses that she wants to live in and the lifestyle that you said you'd provide for her. She may remind you of that. Yet over here, she's then saying to you that she wants to spend more time with you. And in my experience, what I found to be true, there are a few key lessons here for me and from the men. First of all, the major lesson here is that 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, it isn't really their dream. It's our dream. We tell ourselves it's their dream and that we're doing this for them. And there is some truth in that. But really, we're doing it for us. And that's okay as well. There's nothing wrong with doing that for yourself, wanting to grow and wanting to challenge yourself, wanting to strive. That's a great attribute that you have. And in my opinion, it's not a case of watering that down. And at the same time, my bet is that your wife or your family would be happy with you, earning way less money just if they had more time with you. it doesn't cost a lot of money to go down the park and play ball with your family, does it? Just be there and have fun and celebrate and have a picnic and connect, deeply, deeply connect. And we've covered this on previous episodes. So the first lesson there is, be mindful of whose dream you're telling yourself you're building. And the second one is it's all around communication, isn't it? If what usually happens, what we often see with the men is that things get to boiling point, don't they? They let this resentment build up and build and build and build. And the distance gets bigger and bigger between them and their partner until it then erupts in an argument. Whereas, and you do this so well with Erin, Doug, if you're able to recognize what's coming up with you earlier on in the process, and you're able to communicate, hey, do you know, right now I'm feeling unappreciated. I'm feeling that I'm putting all this effort in and this work, and I'm feeling like you're just not seeing it. And I'm missing some of my workouts, and I love to work out, and I'm missing some of them so I can provide a better life for us. And on the other side of it, I feel that you are complaining at me for not being there. It's all about the ability to be able to communicate consciously what's going on within you without either one feeling attacked or feeling like the victim.
Well, that's definitely true. And, as a father, I can speak to that feeling of wanting to provide and also that feeling of wanting to be present. And sometimes that feeling of wanting to provide and wanting to be present can actually be in conflict with each other, right? Because you want to provide the best for your family. Every man does. There's no man listening to this podcast that doesn't want to provide everything he possibly can for his family. And like you said, Tim, if you don't have kids, I know this is the absentee father, but it still applies for you too. But for providing for your family, the idea of giving them the best, that could be the new toys, right? The taking them to the best schools, or maybe you want to take them on a weekend trip, or maybe you want to take them and show them, different parts of the world and travel. And these dreams that we have for our families create a gap between where we are today and where we want to be. And this gap between where we are today and where we want to be creates a lot of guilt and shame around it. Now, we talk about this in previous episodes, but it creates a feeling of discontent. And so as a default, as business owners and entrepreneurs, our default is to work, right? It's something that we're very good at. And we'll go to work to make more money. Maybe it's make more money to bring in more help. Maybe you want to get someone to help clean the house. And so you work longer hours. But, it always starts off with the story of just working longer hours at the beginning, right? So when I get an extra, $5,000, then everything will be okay and I can kick back and relax. Or when I get my business to a certain level, then I can kick back and relax and be present with my family. Then I can be present with my kids. And so, Tim, what we're seeing with a lot of these guys is it's really they're working hard now for a future that they're hoping will come out. But the work that they're doing isn't effective, and they know it. And that's the hardest part. I call it clicking the mouse, where, you go into the office and really you're shuffling papers. You're doing it. You just are busy being busy. You're answering emails that don't necessarily need your immediate response. You find yourself on social media. You find yourself reading Forbes articles or Business Insider or Reddit or something else, or Facebook, when you shouldn't be on there. You're just not being effective. And as a product of not being effective gives more guilt and shame. So it fuels the fire. So when you get home, you now don't know how to relate with your family, and therefore you go right back into your phone. And at 2 a.m, you're up late at night trying to figure out why you can't make more money to make this all to fix the problem, when all along that hasn't been the problem to start with.
So true. And we often, what I'm hearing you say there, Doug, as well, in the pattern that we see with the men, and I used to buy into this too, was that the way to provide as a father, first and foremost, comes financially. And it's not the case. In order to, I'm sure the lessons that you want to teach Bodhi, first and foremost, don't have a great deal to do with making money. In fact, what are the lessons that you want to, impose upon Bodhi?
Gosh, well, the first one is to always march by his own tune, right? To be himself and to love himself. My wife and I really, really try to instill that in him. I mean, he's only 2. In fact, right now when we're recording this, he just woke up. This is early morning here on where I am, and I can hear his little feet running, and I can't wait to get up there. So as soon as we're done, I'm going to go up there and play with him. So always to love himself and to be himself. I think that's critically important. And as men, that's something I feel it's almost beaten out of us to some degree. Is we a little bit more of conformity. So that's number 1, Tim. 2 is obviously the things that I hope all parents want to teach their kids is integrity and honesty. Honor your word, and your word is your bond. Like those are very important. And I do want to teach them the benefits of hard work. I think hard work is really important, but it's a cliche, but working smarter, not harder. But at the same time, I do want him to instill a really solid work ethic within my son. Then also the idea of taking care of your body and taking care of your spirit. I think those are also very big things. Gosh, we can go on for about 3 hours in this podcast, me listing the things that I want to share with them. Again, my son's only 2, so I want to fill that in. But I think it's really important for me as a father not to put my own hopes, dreams, and desires onto my son. I don't want him, I played soccer competitively, well, my version of competitively, and that doesn't mean I want my son to do it, right? I want my son to do whatever he wants to do, but I want him to play full out in whatever he chooses, whether that be playing the piano, playing soccer, or drawing, or doing something totally different. It could be ballet. I don't care. I just want him to play full out in all areas of his life and really enjoy filling his cup up to the greatest degree. And I want to be on that journey and support him whenever I can. Hey guys, it's time to get real. Do you feel bored, burnout, or broken? Discover the system that over 300 businessmen are using to let go of the grind, find inner peace, and unlock near unlimited personal power so they can have more time, more intimacy, and better sex while living a life they love without stressing about work or feeling like a fraud. Go over to thepowerfulman.com/freedom right now and discover the insights that you need to get started. All right, let's get back to the episode.
So would it be fair to say then a lot of those lessons don't require you to be, a multimillionaire?
And I think, yes, that's fair to say. All the dads listening to this know that, right? All the dads know they don't need to be a multimillionaire to provide. We as fathers want to be multimillionaires for a lot of reasons. We're told, of course, this. Early on, that's what we do to provide. And it's like anything in life. It's always an upgrade in toy cars, an upgrade in schools, or things of that nature. Now I'm in a position where I'm able to provide that for my son. But I can only imagine what it would be like. And I still feel the strain, right? The strain to provide more and more and more. And I can only imagine what some of these men listening to must feel that aren't in that financial position in this stage of their life. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to provide it. There is always a sense of providing more. And you said this about the women in our lives, wanting that house and wanting this and wanting that. What we find, Tim, with the men that we work with, and myself, in my experience, is when you're present with your family, when you're actually present with them, they don't mention the house. They don't mention the car. They don't mention the lessons per se. It really, what's happening here is they just want you. And when you're gone and you become the absentee father, that's when things start to creep in, desires that they have. And that's really possibly one way for them really calling to you, because what they're doing now to call to you, to bring you as a father, a leader of your home, a leader of your family in, isn't working. You're working hours, but what they're doing isn't working to bring you back to presence, to bring you back to grounded state. And so they'll start complaining. They'll start to fill the void of you being gone and you being absent with things. Now, you and I know that won't work, but they're still trying, right? And you can't blame them for trying. It's like grasping for straws, right? They're grasping for anything they can get, any part of you as a father, as a dad. And you know this when you look into your kids' eyes, dads. You know this when you're not present. You know they're like present machines, right? As soon as you're not present for a second, they pick up on it. It's the weirdest. It's amazing. One of the best lessons of my life for sure. I thought I was great at being present, and my son taught me that I wasn't nearly as good as I thought I was. So, yeah, you don't have to be a multimillionaire at all. In my opinion, Tim, you need to take care of your inner game. We talk about that a lot. You need to up-level your mindset. By up-leveling your mindset, you are able to pass down to your kids, your sons and your daughters, and as well as your wife, pass up, this new mindset, this new you, and this new way of being, this new sense of happiness, this new sense of contentment. That's critically important. I heard someone speak the other day, was a father, and said, you say you're so, he was talking to somebody else and said, hey, look, you say you're so smart, then why don't you invest in yourself? Why aren't you taking care of your mindset? Why aren't you taking care of you so you can pass that on? You say you're so smart, right, guys? But you're just clicking the mouse. You're going to work as a place to hide out because you're feeling shame and guilt. I'm calling you out, dads, as a place to step up. Step up and be the man, be the leader in your family, and do the work on yourself. The hard work, it's not easy, I'm not going to lie, but do the tough work so you can actually spend time with your kids and give them the gift of that, your presence, and also your wisdom and knowledge. Your kids are going to do and act out all of the things that you do. They're going to repeat the pattern. It's monkey see, monkey do. You know this if you're a father. You see it in your kids. They say the same things you do. They act the same way you do. Same with your wife. So why not give them the gift? If you love them, give them the gift of being the absolute best powerful man you can be, and let them follow that example instead.
I love it. I love it. It's totally possible for you to feel present and connected with your wife and kids. And, it's, in my opinion, and I'll speak for Doug here as well, we see it so many times with the men. It's not your fault you are where you are today. I mean, you followed a belief system in society, and you were told that, based on an old paradigm, the old way was that you've got to work hard. And you fear that without working hard, without the grind, without the sacrifice, that you'll no longer be needed, and you'll be seen as weak and less of a man because you're not, going out there and slaying a dragon every day in business. And as a result, the fear there that we often see with the men is that if they are not showing up in that way, if they're not slaying the dragon every day, that they will lose respect and they will lose love. But it's a lie. Every man that has gone through the activation method and come out the other side feeling more love, more respect, more confidence, more fulfillment, without having to hustle and grind and sacrifice even more. One of the things that was a real epiphany for me, Doug, was when you were talking about those, very wealthy people that you were surrounded by at a young age who had everything that you would perceive as the markers of success, the homes, the money, the financial freedom to do whatever they wanted, but they had so many regrets, and those regrets often revolved around the people that they loved and the people in their life that they weren't connecting with and they weren't present with. And, all of those people in the industry that want to tell you to keep on hustling for what you want and, to stop being a pussy and man up, it's wrong. In my opinion, these people are feeding you the lies and making it so that you're busier rather than, being smarter about all this. And it's just a broken system and a broken model that you don't need to follow anymore. You really don't. And, that's why the first step of the activation method, there's 3 shifts in there. The first shift that we guide the men through is the truth. And the purpose of the truth is to break the chains of society and reconnect you to your instincts as a powerful man. Because when you do that, you're going to let go of the grind and take a stand for what truly matters to you, and then walk the path of a powerful man. And you're then going to be powerfully present, happy and fulfilled today as a man, father, and friend that you're proud of. So there will be no more of the absent father. Sure, just you like me, I'm a recovering hustler. So my set point is to do all those, those actions and, be hustling and grinding and forcing. Yeah, I know it doesn't work for me. So there will be times when it'll creep back in. There will be times when I'll find myself wanting to work late. But because I've set certain things up in my environment, be it people, systems, I follow the tools in the activation method, I'm able to catch it quicker rather than leaving it days, weeks, months, and letting it reach boiling point whereby it erupts into a huge argument between Amelia and I because I've completely neglected her for the past several weeks. All whilst I've been telling myself the story that I'm doing this for us. If I was really doing this for us, I'd finish at a reasonable time. I'd balance work and play, and I'd be present with her because that's all she really wants is my presence.
So well said. So Tim, I'm going to leave the guys with a thought here, the men. And, first of all, guys, if you feel like you're falling into this absentee father role, don't beat yourself up, right? But remember, the odds are that you are finding traits within yourself that are similar to your father's, things you didn't think that you would do, mannerisms you didn't think that you would adopt, thought patterns perhaps you didn't think you would repeat. And if that's the case, and I know it is, if that's the case, then imagine what your kids are going to do. They're going to repeat your patterns. So why not be the strong man that you are and interrupt those patterns and do something different? Be the change in your family tree, be the legacy, be the leader, be the father that they will talk about, be the father they invite, be the father that's present. Do the work on yourself, do the work for your family, right? That is the key here, guys. That is the ticket out. It's nothing special. It's a lot of work, but it's inner game work. And no one can take the inner game away from you, which is amazing. And you'll be able to break the patterns that your family line has continued to process time and time again.
And guys, head over as well to thepowerfulman.com/freedom, because on there, there's some case studies of some amazing men. And there's even some videos from some of the men's wives on there. And you'll see these guys are ordinary guys just like you and me and Doug. And sure, they've achieved great things and they've reconnected with their wife and their kids in a phenomenal way. And they have done it using, obviously, a system that's proven to work, but it's taken a lot less effort than they thought. A lot less effort. With the right guidance and the right tools and the right support, it's taken them a lot less effort than they originally thought. And they've seen the results much quicker than they originally thought as well. So the return on investment you can get from this, should you choose to go down this path and really break that pattern and reprioritize what's important to you in your life, the return on investment you're going to get here is huge. Imagine your wife being able to hold your face and tell you that she's falling in love with you all over again. Imagine, reconnecting with your wife at a deeper level than you've ever had. One of the guys on that page, there's a little snippet from him saying that, he's reconnecting with her like he did before they got married. I mean, these guys have been married for, I think, over 10 years. They have 3 kids. And I mean, that's phenomenal. Nothing, he's not going to bought a house or a car or earn more money. None of that's occurred here. It's just been a complete shift in how he shows up in the house for his daughters and for his wife. And as a result, his wife then is able to breathe a sigh of relief because the man that she married is back. He's there. And then she opens up because she feels safe to do so. So guys, I highly encourage you to choose this path. Now, this is the path of the alpha. It really is, where you lead your pack and you lead by example, and you have a calming effect without needing to thump your chest, without needing to shout the loudest, without needing to lead with aggression. It doesn't need to be that way. You can lead very humbly and very quietly. And when you choose this path, then you'll see how things start to open up for you and how much more colorful life becomes. As one guy put it so eloquently, it was like it's like the world went from black and white to color. And you can have that too.
So true. We see it time and time again. All right, gentlemen, that's it for this episode of the Powerful Man Show. Fathers, if you're at work, go home and spend some time with your kids. That's it, guys. We will see you next time. And until then, have an amazing day.